Let's talk about the Safe Drugs Act bill that was just proposed. I don't actually know a ton, but we're going to talk about how I feel about it. I'm going to just kind of respond to it because I do have some people in my DMs asking me about compounding medications and how I feel about this act and if compounding medications are going to be taken away. And I feel like I want to respond now as soon as possible with the way I'm gonna respond, I guess. I think that you guys should be used to my lack of knowledge, my, I guess, ignorance. I don't know how else to say it to you, but I do not follow a lot of the government things. There's too much in my head already. I'm a teacher, I have kids. I don't have any time in the day to really digest much information, unfortunately. And that's embarrassing to say. But I did do a little bit of research on this. Of course, somebody DM'd me and I was like, what are you talking about? And so I went and did a little bit of research. Ultimately, though, what I know about this act isn't going to change how I feel, right? And so first of all, if you have no idea what the hell I'm even talking about, apparently there was a new bill that was proposed. I don't think, I know it hasn't been passed, but it was proposed by some guy who lives in the same state as Eli Lilly, is what I understand. And this bill is called the Safe Drugs Act. And SAFE actually stands for something. I have to read it to you, so I'm going to look over here. But it stands for Safeguarding Americans from Fraudulent and Experimental Drugs Act of 2025. So SAFE, Safeguarding Americans from Fraudulent and Experimental Drugs. It's a flat out punch. We're going to war with compounding medications, but this is not new, right? Like, I feel like every few months, like every 6 months, something new is happening. Somebody else is trying to take compounded medications away from us, like every single 6 months. And it's getting exhausting. It's getting annoying. And I'm kind of just over it at this point. Ultimately, if our insurances would just get their shit together, or whoever decides this, and they would just start covering these medications for obesity, which is a medical condition that many of the big platforms are also saying that obesity is a medical condition, and therefore a medical condition should be able to have access to medications. But all of our insurance companies don't want to cover medications for obesity, even though they should. Ultimately, this should not even be a problem because we should all have access to these medications through our insurance companies. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So because of that, we've had to seek elsewhere help at getting these medications at more affordable prices. Now, Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk are trying to lower their prices, right? We do keep seeing some decreases in their prices, but it's still not affordable for the vast majority of us. And telehealth companies are offering it at a lower cost. But at the same time, there are so many telehealth companies that are popping up everywhere. And I know this because almost every single day, and this is not bragging, this is just my proof of what I'm about to say, but almost every single day, I have a different telehealth company either emailing me or DMing me, trying to get me to work for their company, trying to get me to be an affiliate, to sell for their company, like almost daily. And it's always like a new company that I've literally never heard of before. And I have to like go and do research. And I'm like, who the hell is this? I've never heard of you before. This is insane. And it's literally new names all the time. There are so many companies that are just popping up out of nowhere that are offering GLP-1 medications through their services. And how are we supposed to know? How the hell are we supposed to know who's legit, who's not, who could scam us? There is a lot of unsafe practices that are going on in the GLP-1 world. And I think that maybe there should be something that's monitoring it a little bit more. Now, do I think that like all compounding medications should be taken away? Absolutely not. I use a compounding medication. I've used a compounding medication from day one. I am an affiliate with Elara, who is a telehealth company that offers compounding medications. That's who provides my medications. If this act was to pass and they started to crack down on compounded medications. But here's the thing. According to this bill, a telehealth company will only be able to provide 20 patients with a compounded medication per month. That's what I understand, that it's going to limit 503A pharmacies to only 20 compounded prescriptions per month. So each pharmacy is only going to be able to make 20 compounded prescriptions every single month. Now, obviously, that's not enough. There's hundreds and thousands of us that are using compounded medications. They're trying to be able to monitor more of what's coming out of the pharmacies to make sure that these pharmacies are not like doing unsafe things or not putting enough of the active ingredient or just doing something that's not that shouldn't be happening. But these compounding pharmacies are like overseen. They're not making these medications in a basement, right? Like they are making them in a pharmacy that makes thousands of other prescriptions. The telehealth companies should be vetting the pharmacies. For example, Elara only works with 2 pharmacies. Elara is not working with 100 million different pharmacies. Elara is working with pharmacies that have been vetted, truly vetted, and that we trust to be making our medications. But I don't think other telehealths are doing this. Like I've been with other telehealths that I've gotten medications from multiple pharmacies, like the same telehealth, and I've gotten a medication, the exact same medication from different pharmacies month to month. And that stressed me out. So I can see like why this is coming out, but ultimately it's not going to change how I feel, because this is something that I don't feel like we have a lot of control over. Definitely visit Dave on the Pen, because he does have a petition that you can sign, and he's speaking out and he's speaking up. And go over there and do what you can, like have a voice, do what you can, say what you can. I don't feel like I personally can do a lot about it. Like I feel like this is out of my control, and I live in this realm of this is my bubble, this is my control, and things that are out of my control, I try to not stress out about. I have enough to stress out about. I have enough. And this is something that I just can't. I cannot stress out about it. I'm going to trust in the telehealth provider that I have committed to. I'm going to trust that Elara is going to tell me when I need to worry, if I need to worry, and I'm going to trust that things are going to work out the way that they need to work out. And ultimately, if compounding medications were taken from me, I would scrimmage into my piggy banks. I would go into my savings. I would do whatever I needed to do to pay the out-of-pocket costs for as long as I could, which who knows how long that would be. There is a chance that ultimately I would have to go off of a GLP-1. So obviously it's stressful, but it's like the 10 millionth time that it's happened. Every 6 months, something new pops up. Somebody is trying to take away compounding medications, and it is too stressful for me to worry about. It's too stressful. So I'm hoping that you guys are not worried as well. I mean, you can take a minute, you can pull yourself together, but like ultimately we can't control this, and ultimately it's going to play out the way it plays out. And even it, like, things like this take time. It would not be like in a week we don't have compounded medications. It would take time. Lots of people are going to fight it. It's just, I want to respond to this, but I feel like inadequate to respond to it. I feel like I don't have enough knowledge to respond to it. I did a little bit of research. I don't think that it's going to pass personally. I just don't. It just seems to be an ever revolving cycle that compounding medications are in the news, that they're going away. If this bill passes, then I definitely think that there is a chance that they could go away. But we're going to hope that this bill just fizzles out right where it's at and doesn't go any further. And there's a very good chance of that, because a vast majority of bills that get proposed do not go any further than that. But because GLP-1 medications are so popular right now and in the spotlight, this bill is being also spotlighted. But I could be so far off base. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. That's my response. I also know that no matter what, it's going to be okay. No matter what. So if you take anything from this video, just remember, it's going to be okay. No matter what. Okay. Remember, you are doing so much better than you think. You've got this. Bye.